Good morning, boys and girls. It is Saturday morning, January, what? 18th? Yeah. I was trying to count from the 15th, but that was quicker. Thank you. Today is brought to you by the letter fuck this bullshit. No, it's not. We don't have sponsors on this channel. We because letters of the alphabet. Those are the big baller sponsors. Um, Not that f is a letter, but you know, unless you're Jeff Dunham.com. Okay, this is going nowhere quick. I'm sorry. Um, but it's kind of a, like we have the people that don't like me have managed to put in the White House someone whose entire policy, implementation, his work ethic is at its best like one of my meandering fucking introductions from the judicial system. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Today's lesson is going to be about leadership. Oh yeah. Dr. Rodney McKay. No, I mean No, okay, so let me see if I can think of an analogy. Honda fanboys versus experienced Honda mechanics versus certified Honda Acura specialists. Okay. Donald Trump is a Honda fanboy. Okay? Marco Rubio is a experienced mechanic, like me. As far, like I'm not that good with mechanics. Okay? I'm a learn as you go kind of guy. Okay? Um People like John McCain, John Kerry, Hillary Clinton. I'm trying to think of some more Republicans to be nice. Lindsey Graham. Um, Fucking even Rick Perry by comparison. Okay. As corrupt and fucking, like just who he is. Compared to Donald Trump, he's Eric the car guy. Okay? Hillary Clinton, John McCain, without a doubt. Um, Eric the car guy. They are certified Honda Acura specialists. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar enough with the difference between a fanboy, a car guy, Honda guy, and a certified fucking specialist, let me explain. A fanboy thinks he fucking knows everything. Okay? It usually starts with a spoiled 14-year-old. All right? They get on the internet and they look at pictures. And they think from those pictures that they know what a car is. Okay? They usually, hopefully have played video game simulators. And the ones who wind up taking it seriously sometimes become real mechanics, sometimes become even tuners and race car drivers. The difference is probably mathematically proportional to the amount of people who buy the steering wheel setups. Okay. But then, of course, you have yuppies that buy steering wheel setups just to buy steering wheel setups. See, a fanboy will go on forums and try to correct other people based on what they've read on the internet, as opposed to what they learned one time when their hands were bloody and greasy, by doing something the hard way, then figuring out an easier way. Often this is, you know, as something as simple as how to get an axle out of a freaking bearing, okay? But a lot of it's like, put a big old exhaust on there and it'll go faster kind of shit. Put low, hard springs on it and it'll perform better. It'll go around corners faster. Um, like, it's basically semi-educated trolling, and it happens a lot in the automotive forums across the board, but especially with Honda fanboys. They think once they've learned what VTEC is, that they know everything about cars. But, see, myself personally, I grew up, poor enough that I didn't have a car until I was 22 years old. Didn't get my license until I was 21. And there was... Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Had to settle an argument in the back. Leadership. Oh god, I completely lost my train of thought though. So yeah, fanboys basically become trolls in online forums, and often they apply at like dealerships and like, try to pass themselves off as mechanics. Like they'll pull in with their fart can mufflers and start saying how much they know, like boastfully and everything. And anybody who's a professional knows that it's a big risk putting somebody like that underneath a client's car. Okay. You want to make that guy or girl be an oil change mechanic or teach them how to change tires, something like that. Let them be a helper first. Okay. Just because they were a spoiled rich kid, they could pull up in the most badass, modified whatever, and got 5 more just like it. Best quality parts, whatever. Okay. They might even be a professional race car driver, won trophies and shit. But they might still know nothing about turning a fucking wrench. Okay? Nothing about the actual physics of how cars work. Okay. Primary example. Of a best case scenario, as far as analogies go. I'm going to go into my YouTube history right quick. There's these guys that are seemingly somewhat skilled as far as welding and physical mechanics goes, and they go and try to tune a Honda on this YouTube channel called Speed Academy. It's an S2000, and they do a pretty good job of it. But then they get stumped when they finally think they've got everything just masterfully done and they've got all the power they were looking for. You know, they took it to the dyno, got it properly tuned and everything. Okay. Then they wound up getting completely perplexed and spending an hour randomly guessing and changing parts because they didn't have enough of a background understanding of electrical engineering to be tuning on a Honda. Okay? Now, obviously, let's see, they got 61,000 views in a year. Most of these, let me see, look, I watched several of these videos in a row. 41,000, 61,000, 49,000, 78,000. These were posted a year ago. Okay. And, you know, they got a fucking S2000 and several other cars, and I don't. Right? So obviously they're successful. They've done some things right. But they came and spent all this time getting ready for this track day, and then they had a misfire at 7,500 RPMs. And they go and just start changing parts. Here's the deal. If you have, say, let me just eliminate some possibilities for you. A fuel injector or a coil is going to work properly at a certain range if it's bad. Okay? It's not going to go out at a certain range. All right? I mean, the coil pack, it's very unlikely that could cause the problem. Okay? But more than likely, it is a transfer layer voltage problem, which means that it's an ignition module, as in the computerized capacitive side of it. Okay, so that could be in my car. I would do the ignition module. In a newer car, and in this particular car, I would think that they had possibly gotten a bad ECU. Okay, because this would be handled within the voltage being outputted by the ECU. And if that gets some kind of interference, it's going to show up in a particular spot the way that did. Okay, but that's, you know, a basic background understanding of electronics that comes with 10 years of troubleshooting fucking Acuras and Hondas, okay, which I've done. Ooh. You have not known tedium until you've traced an OBD1 wire harness, okay? But anyway. So, transfer that analogy, if you haven't already. Sorry, I stare at, you know, in case you're new to the channel, I don't have a third wall, I have fish tanks. You can go see them on the other videos. I'm in my living room, I'm on my fucking couch. Holding my cell phone, pretty obviously. And if you watch any of the seemingly special effect like videos, I have Microsoft Movie Maker, and that is it. I have no movie editing software. I saw a friend of mine edit a movie, like use movie editing software once. Well, not like, you know, for an evening. And I forgot what he even made. I mean, it was that long ago. That is the extent of my experience. Like, and all I know as far as how expensive those things are, I haven't even like looked them up. I don't even have any interest in that shit. He said that they were really expensive. He's very successful now, um, and does programming and stuff like that. But anyways, as far as I know, anybody who's got fancy graphics introductions and stuff that doesn't look like an off the shelf little thing like that one, okay, chances are they're being paid to say what they're saying. Chances are they're a shill, all right? Just, I mean, mathematically, 99 out of 100. 999 out of 1,000, okay? Like, that's data I've collected. That's not hyperbolically projecting possibilities or anything. It's just, man, I've been researching this. That's part of what's one of the purposes of this channel was kind of a fishing mechanism to see what the fuck was really going on here on YouTube. Okay. Um. But anyways, back to the obvious metaphorical comparison between a fanboy trying to help or being allowed to quote help and the best case scenario of what Donald Trump is doing. You can have some of the skills individually, okay? But if you don't have experience in the actual act of doing, okay, if you haven't been there with people while they were doing, watching them do it, if you're just, you know, reading about it in troll comments, seeing what, punk ass kids on YouTube have to say about it, you're not going to have a full understanding of the job. And if you somehow bluff your way into the job, those people that are depending on you to do that job well are fucked. And they're going to have to carry all the weight for you. But if that fanboy, say, just, not a accurate definition for definition comparison, but if the fanboy was the owner's son, that's kind of how it's going here. I know everything, and if you don't like what I think I know, you're fired. Okay? And that's the best case scenario of what these whiny little bitches bought. Trump supporters, I mean, whiny little bitches. Republicans, Republicans. I mean, like, Republican used to actually fucking mean something. It was all a con. It is a con. It's a perpetuated con. And the only reasons why you can list as core reasons why you support Republicans, you got to realize they're just hot button talking points. And that's the reason why they're constantly so dishonest about their underlying evidence for why you should vote for them and why you should oppose the Democrats, Because when you do that, you make the whole of society more susceptible to divide and conquer because you push the center out and then the center only has the left to influence it. Understand? So saying that free choice for women, reproductive rights, is something that you should be angry about, as if, like, oh God, the whole baby parts conspiracy is fucking nonsensical. Like, you gotta realize when you're being fucking triggered, okay? It's just that simple. I'm not gonna fucking beat this dead horse. It's not what the video's about. Alright, so just to complete the comparison, a regular mechanic, like just a a car guy mechanic, a guy who wrenches on his own shit, not a professional mechanic, just a wrencher like me. Okay. I think Marco Rubio just comes to mind as the perfect analogy as far as you know the politicians that everybody knows of right now go. Like, on a side note, Bernie Sanders, he's like a certified Toyota mechanic applying at a Honda dealership. You don't know if he actually works for the dealership down the street. He really seems to know how to fix cars. There might be something up with him, and you need to be aware of it. Lifelong contact. Honeymoon in Russia. Um, Fucking socialist. Yeah. Sorry, I've been coming down with a cold. I don't know what that's about. Sorry. Mm. Anyway, Marco Rubio. Rufio. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Every time it's like, you know, could be fucking fairy tales and legends and Dungeons and Dragons and shit is all coming real right now. So don't fuck with me about he could be the reincarnated Rufio. I wouldn't mind if he wound up president one day, because at least he knows how to fucking present responsibility. And here's the deal with him as far as him being still on the amateur level. He's like the guy, like me, if I were to go down to a custom fucking speed shop that really knew its shit and say, look, here's what I know, here's what I don't know. And I got the job anyway. Okay? That's Marco Rubio. And I need to feed my fish. Not metaphorically. I need to actually feed my fish. It's almost 10 o'clock. Um so Marco Rubio is up there with some good experience, with um a reliable track record that indicates that he most likely has best intentions. Okay. But like anybody learning on the job, they can be bullshitted by outside sources. Okay. A mechanic might read something on the internet one day that makes him go in and question what he's doing. And sometimes the internet's actually right, which Marco Rubio has also learned. But things like this need to be vetted logically, okay? Rationally, with an open, objective mind. Something that a fanboy like Donald Trump never has. And like I said, that's a best case scenario. You see, the job that a fanboy usually gets at a dealership is the salesperson. Now, you can have a fanboy come in to your dealership that could be a sales person from another dealership there to spy on you, there to piss some customers off, there to make some deals go bad, there to raise the cost for the company, lower the profit margins, fuck a bunch of shit up in as little time as possible. So I come in, I got 20 years experience as a sales manager at Toyota, and I want to be your new sales manager. be in charge of all your salespeople because I got this great experience and phenomenal bullshitting ability. I shouldn't be using Toyota as an analogy. I should be using Kia as an analogy. Oh yeah, I could sell the shit out of some Kias, or better yet, used Dodges. Oh yeah, I sold 1,500 Chrysler Sebrings in my career. I could sell fucking anything. Um, Want to buy a Trump steak? Fuck's sake. Uh, and then talked his way into a job at the Honda dealership. And I don't know if you know this about Honda dealerships, but Honda corporate gets on a local Honda dealership's ass if they piss off their customers. Okay, there's a standard of integrity that goes even into Honda racing teams. Okay, which I've talked about enough on this fucking channel. Well, would you be better off promoting somebody who used to work in the sales department and is now a finance manager or something? Or promoting this guy who could be loyal to this other dealership? Because he's made a lot of money with this other dealership. And he's spent most of his career complaining about the Honda dealership. Hmm. And well, as far as demonstrated job competency, when it comes to Hondas, he's just a fanboy. When it comes to America, Donald Trump is just a fanboy. He doesn't understand the mechanics of the operation. He doesn't understand the intricacies of the voltage transfers. He's igniting all kinds of energy in all kinds of places, and he has no understanding of it, let alone ability to diagnose and remedy it. All he can do is troll in the comments and give people bad advice.